All right, let's talk a little bit more about design. We're in another food plot here right now. This is the last of the corn that we got to knock down of the 5 fields that we did this year. A couple of them are right next to each other, but we just kind of classify them as different fields and test them as such. So what we got here, plot we call Greg's. One of the first plots we took out in this location. As you can see, we got about 2 acres-ish of corn here. Dad's over there knocking her down right now, but this one, we didn't actually hunt this plot this year. We had better intel and location on shooter bucks, and that's the ones that we targeted on different plots. And then the couple that we had toward the end of the season, we decided to let them just ride over here, and hopefully they made it through season, and that's all we can ask for. We did find a good 3.5-year-old dead the other day. He was more on a different plot, and I had an encounter with him this past year, but unfortunately that's how it is. Sometimes cars get them, coyotes run them down. You know, it just doesn't always have to be people that kill them. It's sometimes Mother Nature. She's got her own ways of putting the numbers on the hurt. So a couple of things about the design of this plot. Obviously, it's a big 2-acre field. This was coming out of rotation of turnips for a couple years, so this was a perfect time to get in here and rotate this out. So crop rotation being the first big key for this, making sure that you're not overtaxing it, and obviously doing your soil amendment as needed. We had some issues with depth. As you can see, this was our first field that we planted over here, and this first pass we put it in way too deep. The first 2 passes here, where you see very sparse, couldn't come up, and it was real sickly when it did. But then we got the hang of it pretty good the rest of the field. And then up top there, we had a little bit of issues because of the side hill, but all in all, figuring out the drill, we did pretty good with this being our first plot, and obviously we got better production out of it. A couple stand locations on this plot. There's 2 over there that you can't see brushed into that. That also sits on another field on the back side that you can come into. And then we have a stand location up in this corner. And what that one does is allows deer to come down and feed through this. This is a small orchard right here, minus this stump sprouted ash tree that's just looks like a wild mess with a rose bush on it. But we got a couple persimmons in here that are early dropping persimmons, so those will be good postseason food attraction as they filter into this plot. Got a couple apples here on the end, and then this big, it's actually a beech tree, but we're going to top that now, and so we can scrape off of it going forward. That was left there specifically for trail camera location on the inside corner of this trail system that comes through here. We got to open this back up, our box elder, our beloved box elder that we had for years on this property. One of our first trail camera locations was right there on that box elder. That went down last year, so we got to get that cleaned up, open up this travel corridor. We have really good bedding up here on the hill and really good bedding over on this part of the side hill too. So you can see deer cruising on that once leaf drop happens and call them down into this plot. I've done that before. And then also you can slink up the trail in between the bedding areas because they bed further down there and they bed further down there, so you can split the difference with the right conditions and get up on top and hunt that top ridge, as well as being able to hunt the bedding on the other side. So again, not having to be right up in the bedding areas, kind of hunting on the little bottleneck ends of it. And then when you're laying it out with your food plots, I love fruit trees as they transition into food, whether it's standing grain or turnips or clover. And what these trees do is give you that spot for them to hold up, do some scrapes, and then they're out into the field feeding while you're getting off your stand location and getting out at night. Same thing with the backside. You go out through the hedgerow and you're gone. You're not spooking any deer. As long as they're not within 50, 60 yards of where you're climbing down of in this spot, you can typically slip out of it without spooking out the field, which is huge for keeping these fields huntable. Other than that, it's a great little spot. But again, maximizing it. We're going to have a blind location up in there this year. We have a new tower going in to be able to hunt this plot. We don't have any towers. What it is ground blind and a couple tree stands for now, but we're going to change that this year. Finally, our ash tree finally decided to die that we used to hang a camera on too, and that used to have a big scrape on it. So putting 2 scrapes on the outside corner of this plot, and as they transition through here, you can see there's a little travel trail that comes in right there. That comes by that stand at about 15 yards. Beautiful shot. And then right here, they come through at about 25, 26, working down this. So once we open this back up and keep them from coming around that end, we're going to push it up into there and refocus them coming around that trail system, that's just going to make this stand all the better. This year it was a little bit laxed because they were mostly coming off the hill. They weren't transitioning into this plot like usual. So there's your other tip, is looking at these spots year to year, seeing how trees falling changes it, seeing how your stand location changes it, and maybe it means you have to back up your stand location 30-40 yards. This one's perfect because you kind of slip in between the bedding that's right here, the bedding on the side hill, the food, and then the other beddings. So and actually right where I'm standing parked on the UTV, Dono, the night I shot him, he came out of this plot and was cruising between these bedding areas and then came out to that other field, and that's where I ended up killing him. So hopefully you guys got some good tips out of that video. And again, Ben Williams, Whitetail Properties, Old Tin Cup, and 100 Proof Whitetails podcast. I will catch you guys all next time here in the field with more of our habitat tips, tricks, and updates as it go through the summer and winter months and the off season, getting ready for deer season 2025. See you guys next time. Take care.